Hello again. Welcome back. Thank you. So, you've met me. You've sort of met my brother. You'll meet him but more later. And you've met Darcy. Pretty much all of her. Anyway, we're going to carry on now with chapter 3. So, starting off, we was in my house, or my flat. Now we're going to leave the flat. Simple as. Let's go. So, chapter 3 is called The... Click! Lukz gently closes the door behind him, leaving his apartment. Since when does it take you 30 minutes to get ready? Kevin shouts. Lukz immediately turns around with a giant grin on his face, filling his mask. Wow, was I 30 minutes? That must be a new record or something, he replies in a jokey tone. Kevin rolls his eyes. Come on, Romeo, we need to go. Lukz, still smirking like a little kid, struts over to his car and kisses its bonnet. I never get tired of waking up to you, my big black beauty. Come on, Lukz, it's just a car, we need to go, Kevin announces, opening the passenger door. Lukz slowly turns his head towards him with his mouth gaping wide open. How dare you say it's just a car? This, my thinks he's so educated brother, is a 360 horsepower V8 engine executing 475 pounds of torque per square foot. A unique fastback coupe body style inspired by the 1965 GS American Muscle era in matte black. Lukz crosses his arms and nods his head. So? You still stole it from a dead guy? And I don't think you've even cleaned it yet, Kevin replies, frantically brushing the seat with his hand as he timidly slides in. Lukz laughs to himself. I like the smell. They blankly stare at one another when Kevin shakes his head. You're messed up, bro. Without a second's delay, Lukz jumps in and turns the key, igniting a monster beneath its carbon fibre bonnet. It bellows out with a deafening roar, shaking the ground beneath it. Lukz turns a switch, opening a pair of chain metal headlight covers, splitting them in half. As they fold back into the car's face, it reveals two headlights, the right one gleaming a fluorescent blue colour, with the left having a black centre and a neon red outline. I just love that bit, Lukz chants to himself. Kevin, lost for words, turns to look out the front windscreen. A rich golden sun starts to fade as Lukz and Kevin pull up outside a row of brickwork terrace houses. A mass of police and forensic vehicles all cordon off the road outside number 3. Lukz and Kevin step out the car, glancing at one another. This must be serious, Kevin says harshly. Or crime rates are down and everyone needs something to do because of this guy, Lukz says arrogantly, pointing and twitching both his thumbs towards himself. Kevin lets out a deep sigh. Do you want your bat? Lukz instantly livens up and paces over to his boot. I'll grab it today, as we both know what this could be, Lukz says, grinning from ear to ear with glee. Kevin turns away, pulling a blank expression as he waits for him. Opening the boot, Lukz gazes down to see a gnarled up and beaten baseball bat which is splintered from overuse. Also, barely a patch of wood can be seen through a multiple of deep black stains which cover it. Lukz picks it up with one hand on either side and spins it over. Engraved in the wood are loads of dash-like markings, all split into 5s. However, the last 4 marks don't have a slash through them. Today is going to be our 100th kill, baby, he gently whispers to the bat. I'm telling you, Kevin, I can feel it, he shouts out while waving his bat around, trying to get Kevin's attention. Great, can we go now? I think I can see Dibble, Kevin replies in an agitated mood. Yeah, alright, he wouldn't have called you for no reason, Lukz says, delicately closing the boot of his beloved car. A deep, wispy voice mutters from behind a pearly white classic car. Lukz. Officer Dibble! Lukz shouts over to him, frantically waving his arm. For crying out loud, Lucas, it's not Dibble when we're on the job. Call me at least by my full name. A tall, broad, bald-headed man with a large ginger beard wearing a pristine navy blue outfit shouts harshly back in a strong Welsh accent as he strides towards him. Yes, Mr. Don Bible, sir! Lukz howls back. Ladies, ladies. Kevin steps in between them. Can we please just deal with the matter in hand and stop dwelling on past rivalries? Lukz scowls at him and stares into Don's golden brown eyes. This is not a rivalry. A rivalry is something where a rival can only provide an equal level of competition. Don is no match for me. Kevin and Dibble stare towards Lukz, startled at the fact he was mildly punctual. Anyway, what's happened here, Don? Kevin asks. Well, that's what I was hoping to ask you. Come and look. She's in the upstairs master bedroom. All three enter a modern, clean-edged, polished home, where everything seems to be in order. Yet, an obvious sign that this individual doesn't spend a lot of time at home is shown within its cleanliness. They walk up some slightly creaky laminate stairs onto a narrow landing which is divided by 4 doors. All 3 of them follow Officer Don to the far end door, which appears to be slightly ajar. Staying completely silent, Don hesitantly opens it to reveal a mangled, half-decapitated corpse lying there ravaged of skin and organs, her jaw ripped wide open, barely hanging on by the flesh which still attaches it. The woman's stomach is torn to shreds, as if it had burst from the inside, leaving no internal organs behind, just a few broken ribs and a hollow, severed shell. Oh, damn! Lukz shrieks in the background. Kevin and Don, startled, immediately turn to see him taking a picture off the back wall. This woman is, or shall I say was, hot! I mean, honestly, look at the pair on her! He calls out, pointing towards her breasts. Kevin quickly interrupts while raising his eyebrow. Okay, Lukz, I think that's enough. Seriously, look at them! Lukz says amazed, shoving it right into Kevin's face. Kevin vigorously swipes his hand away, knocking the picture out of his grasp. Just bloody examine the body, Lucas! Lukz steps back, shocked, as he turns towards the marred corpse. Kneeling beside it, he starts to slowly hover his hands just over the top, followed by blaring open his rich red and blue eyes, staring deeper and deeper into the woman's mauled face. He closes them, then speaks. It was dark. Only a small glimmer of light flickered in the background. Screams were calling from her high-pitched vocal cords, only to be stopped by ravenous slashing of claws to her throat. A small, 4-legged creature clambered onto her, slicing and gnawing its way through her delicate skin. She panicked in fear, grabbing the leg of a small table beside her, trying to beat the creature off, but to no success. It entered her voiceless mouth, ripping her jaw into the slivers of skin which now hold it together, emerged from her stomach. Lukz turns around, opening his eyes, obviously leaving no internal remains. He says, sinisterly. Officer Don stands there shocked, then promptly accuses Lukz. Now come on, how can you know that? He says, folding his arms. Lukz turns his head sideways and squints menacingly. Well, the leg of the bedside table is broken and only centimetres from her hand. The scratches and bruising are all split into 4 sections, he says, pointing towards the top and bottom of her face. But only on her face, and no other part of her body. Along with the ripped jaw, indicating that something got into her mouth, plus, with the way her stomach is blown outwards, it can only mean that something got out from the inside. Any questions? Dibble, Lukz adds, playfully. Don scratches his head. Yeah, that still doesn't explain what this thing is and how it got into the house, he asks, confused. Everyone turns towards the door. Please tell me that was the sound of Dibble crapping himself, Lukz says, sniggering. Officer Don doesn't move or reply. He stays fixed upon the door. Everything becomes strangely quiet as all 3 of them stay completely still, when the door lightly closes shut. Lukz, was that you? Kevin asks in a slightly terrified manner. Lukz completely ignores him and begins to gently tiptoe towards the door. He reaches out for its handle with one hand, while slowly grasping his bat on the back of his fur jacket with the other. Swiftly flinging it open, Lukz shouts, "Come on, you!" but stops halfway through his sentence. to see nothing but an empty hallway with a loft hatch hanging down from the ceiling, slightly rocking forwards and back. I need you two to follow me, so I can get you out without having your faces chewed on like a bucket of fried chicken. Whoa. Lukz starts drooling, imagining a bucket of freshly fried chicken floating right in front of him. Whack! Kevin smacks him round the back of his head. Come on, let's go! He whispers in an aggravated manner. Lukz turns towards him and winks his broken red eye as it peers through his mask. Softly stepping forwards, a small gargling noise echoes around them. Lukz fully grasps his bat, poising himself for attack. A piercing screech wails through the upstairs, folding Officer Don to his noise, shouting, "Ah! No!" Lukz screams back. Within a split second, a repugnant, rat-skinned, four-legged, imp-like creature pounces from the ceiling above them, straight towards Officer Don's open mouth. Lukz launches his bat like a missile, smashing it straight into the creature's bony stomach, throwing it over Don's head. "Ha! Nice shot, bro," Kevin says, exhaling a sigh of relief. "Oh no, did you see that spiral?" Lukz replies while ecstatically waving his hands. "Run, you idiots!" Don shouts as he shoves them both out his way, storming downstairs. No thank you or anything. I should have directed that thing into his ugly mug, Lukz adds, watching him scramble out the house. Another gargling sound reeks in the background. Lukz and Kevin briefly look at one another. Then Kevin dashes downstairs while Lukz dive rolls into the room, grabbing his baseball bat in mid-roll as well as kicking the door shut, slamming it behind him. He rises to his feet, locking himself inside the room. Lukz lightly crouches down, trying to keep close to the floor. He listens for any form of movement or noise. A slight chill roams through the air, making Lux's neck hair stand on end. He starts whispering to himself extremely quietly. 95, 96, 97. Gradually getting louder and louder. 98, 99. Then bellows out, 100! Ready or not, here I come! He immediately charges towards a 6-foot-tall standing mirror, grabbing his bat with both hands as he twists his body, ready to smash anything that gets in his way. Suddenly, from behind the mirror, a pair of thick, beady eyes gleam a bright red within its long, dark shadow, followed by some razor-sharp teeth flaring out as if smirking towards him. It pounces at lightning speed directly towards Lux's screaming mouth. Almost in slow motion, Lux's facial expression changes from a desperate cry of anger to a cheeky smile, crudely mimicking the words, "Got you," as he lifts his bat directly centre of his face and over his mouth. Both flying towards one another, the creature smashes into Lux's back, wrapping its small bony body around a steel-like surface. It plunges to the floor, mangled in a crescent-like shape, slamming down without another movement or noise. Lukz looks down. 4 legs, it's the same length as a small dog. Claws as sharp as a falcon's. Its small hairless head tucked in between its 2 top legs. "I swear I've seen this before," he says to himself, convincingly. Lukz pauses, baffled at what he is looking at. He kneels down to get a closer look. The creature instantly springs back to life, clambering onto his neck. "Ah!" he cries out, stumbling backwards, trying to rip the creature loose from its grasp. He slams himself into the back wall, trying to knock it loose, but it stays grappled tight into his neck, sinking its claws deeper and deeper within. "Fine! You want to know what that feels like? Eat this!" Lukz flings his fur jacket open at the hip and grabs a serrated hunting knife from his belt. Thrusting it upwards, he narrowly misses as the creature loosens its grip and bolts off him, clambering onto the bed next to him. Lukz turns towards it, holding his bat in his right hand and the serrated hunting knife in his left. The creature starts to twist and gnarl its broken bones back together, almost chuckling in its gargling voice. "I'm going to send you back to wherever you came from, you hellspawn of death!" Lukz bellows out, instantly flinging his right arm backwards and smashes his bat down onto the bed. The creature bounds to its side, narrowly moving out its way. It locks its legs and springs towards Lux's face. It forces his head forward, headbutting the creature towards the back wall. The demon grips onto a painted brickwork surface, then towards Lux's arm. He tries to swipe it with his blade, but the creature is too fast and clinches onto Lux's hand, gnawing through his skin. "Little shit!" Lux cries out, clenching a fist. He thrusts his hand towards the wall with the creature still attached, but it suddenly repels out the way and scrambles up his jacket sleeve. A huge fuck smashes against the wall. "Ah, damn it!" Lux cries out while vigorously shaking his hand. The creature combines all its front claws together and pierces them deep into Lux's arm, slashing a gaping wound open. Lux falls to his knees in agony as his arm starts to stream out blood onto a wooden floor. The creature sinks its two front legs and head straight into the open wound. "Ah!" Lux bellows out in torment while the creature starts clambering underneath his skin. A tear rolls out of his right eye, full of agonizing pain and distress. He hangs his head downwards. The creature starts to thrash left and right, tearing through his tendons and muscle, slowly moving up through his arm. Lux clenches the floor in pain, then turns his head to see a small bulb-like shape creeping its way up his arm. He grits his teeth and rips the sleeve off his jacket, revealing the bulb pulsing up and down as it clambers underneath his skin. Lux looks away and starts rapidly undoing his trouser belt. Flinging it off, he quickly castrates his arm, stopping the creature from moving any further. He makes a fist, then grinds his teeth together. "Come here, Terry! It's your time to die!" he howls out, shoving his hand deep into the open gouge. "Ah! Kevin!" He screams at the top of his voice, reaching underneath his skin. Lux peers through his weeping eyes, noticing an outline of his hand only millimeters away from the creature's back legs. He quickly edges his fingers closer. The demon starts forcing its claws deeper into his arm, trying to dig underneath the belt. Lux suddenly grabs onto the demon's leg, causing it to clinch tight onto his bone. He shrieks out from torturous pain. Tears well up in his eyes as he begins to tear the demon loose. "Kevin! Help me!" Lux wails out as his hand drags the bulb shape back down his arm, causing it to ripple and shudder against his skin as it clambers onto his tendons and muscle fibres. Bellowing in pain, he gives one final tearing the creature from its grasp, flinging it across the room. Lux's eyes roll back into his head as he collapses to the floor, lying there silently in a pool of his own blood. The creature smashes against the wall beside him, immersed in a thick red coat as it gradually skids to the floor, slumping into a heap of flesh and crimson red ooze. A small rumbling noise echoes in the background as a little snarl and gargle breaks out from the creature's mouth. It ominously coils itself back onto its legs, dripping in Lux's blood. Grinning its teeth in pure anger, it charges towards Lux's dead still body. Smash! Bang! The creature immediately stops when a perfectly symmetrical hole appears in the centre of its head. A drift of smoke flows in the room, while a slight ringing noise from a metal bullet shell rattles against the floor. Kevin stands poised and motionless in the doorway, holding a gun directly towards the creature's head. It stands completely still, then turns its snarling little face towards him as the bullet hole instantly absorbs back together, leaving no traces behind, almost as if Kevin had shot into a shadow. It starts to uneasily wind its small hairless head around, followed by its front and back legs. Twisting and crunching its bones without moving its main body, the demon starts to coil like a spring, still staring daggers into Kevin's green eyes. Locking its body tight, the demon starts grinding its teeth together, sharpening them with every rapid slice. It squeals out, releasing its tightly wound body, torpedoing itself towards Kevin's face. His eyes flash open. Losing his composure, Kevin stumbles backwards, trying to run away, but trips over his own feet and tumbles towards the floor. "No!" Kevin cries out as he pulls his hands over his mouth, trying to protect himself. Slip! A body flops onto his hands. He clenches the demon tight, trying to stop it from ravenously clawing his face. Yet the body doesn't move. Timidly opening his eyes, he notices the tip of a blade splitting directly through the creature's face, in exactly the same place his bullet shot was, but this time the blade stays wedged between its two beady eyes. He throws the creature away, skidding it across the floor, only to see Lux's serrated hunting knife penetrating through the back of its head, connected to a small metal chain. He looks towards Lukz, noticing him lying there with one arm spooling out blood, with his other staying extended outwards, holding a chain which attaches to the handle on his blade. See? That's how you kill them. You can't just shoot a gun, hoping you're gonna hit something, Lukz arrogantly states, weeping in pain. But it was a perfect shot. You know I never miss, Kevin says, disappointed. Anyway, how did you know I shot? You were unconscious, he adds. What the bloody hell do you think woke me up? Lukz replies, sarcastically smirking at him. Kevin runs over. Come on, bro, we have to get you to DC, he says, hoisting his arm underneath Lux's limp body. Lukz sways from side to side, stumbling to his feet, grabbing his torn sleeve off the floor as he places his arm around Kevin's shoulder. He playfully speaks. You have to burn Terry before we go. Kevin squints his eyes towards him. Terry? Really? You named another one? What? Actually, wait. I'm not even going to ask. Where's your lighter? Kevin says, frantically feeling Lux's blood-soaked trousers. Aha! Found it, he adds, lifting it into the air. Suddenly, a whining, groaning noise starts sounding from behind them. Kevin hands the lighter to Lukz as he turns and flings it straight onto the creature's fluid-coated body, igniting it in flames. The creature squeals out as it gets gradually engulfed, sending it back to the fiery pit of hell it came from. Lukz and Kevin start hobbling towards the door. Shall I stamp it out? It looks pretty charred, Kevin asks. Nah, let this whole place burn. I never want to see that thing again. Lukz replies, spitting blood onto the floor. Kevin gently tugs Lux's arm, securing his grip as they both calmly walk downstairs and out the front door. A burning rage effortlessly devours the house behind them, clinging onto Lux's blood trail. So, that was chapter 3. Okay, like I said, these things are brutal. Okay, they will stop at nothing to kill whatever they want to kill. So, to find out if Lukz or myself is going to be okay, then come back in a few days. I promise you I'll upload chapter 4. So remember, subscribe, like, ring the bell, do all that shit. But most of all, enjoy. Mwah. Thank you. I love you.
I'm falling down, darkness is the victor, demons crowd around.